Hello, everyone. Hi, Robin.
Hi, Heidi.
Hi. We're here today with a topic that we've discussed a lot of other times, but there's some more, I think, to be had out of it. It never hurts to have repetition. I know some people get frustrated with repetition, but I feel it is really a good practice because you can know something, but then you turn around and do the opposite of what you know. And the more you hear it over and over, the more I think that you commit it to memory. So we're going to do a repeating of some negative situations. And then we also have a few other little questions on the outskirts that we'll touch on when we get done with that conversation.
Yeah.
So let's start off with repeating negative situations. How and why does this happen to one?
Uh-huh. Well, should we tell our story, Heidi? They might find it kind of funny that even Robin gets herself in a pickle every once in a while.
Yes.
Yes.
No
Oh,
pun intended.
no pun intended. We did that just perfectly, didn't we? Because the story we are
Yeah.
going to tell is about Robin playing pickleball. She was out of town with her husband and they seeked out a court somewhere. They loved to play when they were on vacation. And Robin went with a smile on her face, very happy to be on vacation, no negative resistance or anything in her. And she got to the courts on the first day that she was there, and she was playing and having a good time. And then the three ladies that she was playing with, they were going to play again. And another woman came and interrupted their game and said, hey, you cannot just play another game if someone is waiting and I am waiting. You have to let me in, you see. So Robin said, okay, fine. And then one of the ladies on the other side of the court from Robin let the lady have their spot. She pushed herself in. You see. So they began the game. And as you know, Heidi, Robin is a pretty good tennis player, very competitive when it comes to ball type of sports like you are. And she likes to hit the pickleball pretty hard because she is used to doing that in tennis, and it is the way that this sport transfers in, you see. So
Mm-hmm.
she made a remarkable hard return to this woman, which then came back with a weak response, and she put the ball away, you see. The woman
Mm-hmm.
pointed and used a lot of foul language at Robin and told her never to do that again. It was not pickleball. She had no business hitting the ball like that. What did she think she was doing? And she did it in a lot of swearing and yelling and disturbed the court next to them, and everybody stopped to listen. Robin was very embarrassed, really. She couldn't understand why the woman had such a negative response. She did not hit the ball near her. She simply put the ball off the court where she could not reach it, you see. And
Yes.
so Robin just let her go for a while and didn't really know how to respond. And then finally, when the woman was done with her ranting and her swearing, we would tell you, Robin said to her, I am sorry, I am a tennis player. This is the only way that I know how to play this game. I am new to it. But if you would prefer not to play with me, then I would understand that, go to another court, you see. And the lady did. She went to the other court. But she took her nastiness with her, we would tell you, and she went to the next court. And Robin could hear her repeating the story to each and every person and pointing at Robin as though she had done this awful thing or terrible thing to her, you see. So it was hard for Robin to concentrate. She kind of felt this wave of shame or embarrassment, but she thought, I don't know what I have done, but yet this one is not happy with me, you see. And she continued to move courts, we would tell you, over the next half an hour, and every court that she went on, she repeated the story and pointed at Robin, you see, who knew none of the people. So the whole time Robin was thinking in her head, what could I possibly have done to attract this to myself? I know somehow I'm responsible for it. Nothing happens randomly. I must have done something, you see. But yet this negativity hung on, and she would keep thinking, why would the woman do this? Why is this happening to me over and over, carrying it way too long? We would tell you she was not able to let go of it. And then finally, in her plea to us after the next morning, and she said, I'm still thinking about this. I don't want to create it again. I don't know what to do to get rid of it, but it's stuck on me, you see. And we
Mm-hmm.
said to her, do you know that sometimes a human will choose something that they really want to correct or have better in the world, and that they will make that one of their main themes or main things that they will be working on when they are on the earth plane? And for Robin, and we'd tell you for you too, Heidi, this might help you the next time you encounter something like Robin has, because we know you have. We've talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
Robin is one that wants people to be nice. She wants
Yeah.
everyone to get along. She wants people to be pleasant, to be welcoming, to be kind. And so in this desire, this is how she's chosen to create it, because make no mistake about it. When you have that negative emotion, when someone comes at you like that, all that is receives that charge of energy. And it is a big charge, Heidi. You would agree it was for Robin too.
Yes.
And then she even hung on to it, even amassed it even bigger. And she has
Yep.
released to all that is kindness, more welcome, better people. Yes. This is
Yeah.
what she's calling for in this reaction to the situation that she had, you see. And we want you and Robin and anyone else out there, we would tell you, who is having repeat experiences such as this, because this is not the first time that Robin has encountered unpleasantries in people in her travels or different places she has gone. And yes, there is an attractive quality when she reacts to it, but there also is a theme behind it where she has agreed to this in life that she has, that she wants to be the creator of more love, more kindness, more understanding, more welcoming type people, you see. But all that being said, it isn't the only way that one can create, but it is the way that you and Robin seem to have chosen to create. So what can you do really when you have these repeat situations going on and on? Well, the first thing is to forgive yourself. Don't judge yourself too harshly that you are having them, because that negativity will only create more problems for you. We want you to really understand that I must want nicer people in the world, and smile to yourself. I have done it in a little negativity this time. I'm going to accept my part in it. But next time, I would like to do it just by appreciating and enjoying nice people. I don't need to have unpleasantries come to me and feel the opposite of it in order to create enough energy to send out to all that is, to know that I want nicer people. You can have nicer people by being with nicer people, or you can have nicer people by being with unpleasant people. And it is the choice that one has. So we want you and Robin and anyone else out there who suffers from this affliction, and it feels like an affliction, you see, that you just decide, I got what I wanted. I want nicer people. And I'm not going to even hang on to the one for a second longer than I need to, because what has been accomplished is accomplished. In the moment that I felt my negative emotion being released, I did not like what happened. All that is received me. It knows, it's connected to me. It knows what I want by the experience I just felt. And so, Heidi, the next time you experience something like that, smile to yourself and say, I've made another call to all that is. Yes. But now I'm just going to let it go. And I'm going to decide that all that is received my request, and it did. All that is expanded, and it did. I am calling for what I want, and you are, yes. And now I'm going to let myself receive it. I'm just going to move into the good feeling spot that I can create from, and I'm just going to expect to see nice people. I'm just going to expect to have people who are welcoming. I'm just going to expect that all the best things come to me through the people that I meet, and this is the way I'm going to create from here on in.
That's that's really something I would have never really considered or thought of, but I so much heard the truth in it, and it's so
Yes.
funny how connected that we are, because on a very much smaller scale, I experience those situations when I'm at pickleball, and one of those situations occurred last night. And it was something very minor, and I don't think that my husband intended for it to be mean.
Mhm.
But because I, like you, am worried about like wanting to come across in a way where the person doesn't feel like bad about themselves or that I'm angry or whatever, um, he we have just finished playing a game, and I lost. My partner and I lost to him and his partner, and we were going to mix up with the people next to us, and we were kind of all standing there talking, and me and this other gentleman decided we were going to play the next game together. And as we're getting ready to go into the game, my husband says, "No, it's winners are together over here and losers are together over there." And
Mhm.
typically, to his defense, that is kind of how we played in the dome in the winter,
Yes.
but it hasn't been how we've been playing all summer. So to me, I kind of felt immediately bad when he said that, like, you're a loser, you're over there, the winners are here. And it hurt my feelings immediately. And I thought, why did you have to say it like that? Like, if I were in that situation, I would never say those words to somebody. Like we used to say, oh, if you win, you two split and stay on the court. We
Yes.
never used to say winners are here and losers are there. So
Yes.
I took it it kind of hurt me. And I
Mhm.
was a little quiet last night. And then this morning, I did tell him, I shared with him why I felt that way. And I think at first he was like a little bit like, oh, you always have a problem with something I've done when we're at pickleball. But I wonder what would have been the right thing in that situation. Should I have not shared it with him? I mean, I realize now by what you've told me what I should do, but in that situation, was
Yes.
it not right to share?
We are always advocates of giving humans the opportunity to receive how we feel in a situation. Now, here we're going to use the word justification. Whether you're justified to feel that way or not is not the issue. The issue is you felt it, yes? So
Right.
it is for you to say to husband or whoever might be involved that that hurt me. Yes. I do not know if it touched something within me that is soft. Yes. Or whether or not your intention was to harm. I am not saying it was, but I want you to know, yes, from you to me, that had effect on me. It hurt me. It hurt my feelings. Yes. So
Yeah.
this gives the opportunity then for the one that you are moving with to say, I did not mean to hurt you. I apologize. Yes. You are not accusing him or pointing your finger at him. You are simply always to respond with your feelings or how you are feeling. You are not even to justify how you are feeling by saying you meant this or you meant that. You simply say, I felt this. Yes, this is me, my perception in the life that I am in. This is what I felt when that happened. Yes. And so
And
then
what if that is not received in the way that you receive? What if it's not received in a good way? What if it's negatively taken?
yes, then you are to not to force or to oppose, but you are to say, I was wounded. Yes, I have shared with you my feelings and how it felt to me. And it is yours now. It is yours to decide how you will respond to me, you see.
Okay.
They do not respond in the way that you want, then you are to hold your focus on how you want your partner to respond. You see, and if he
Right.
doesn't respond the way you are wanting him to, now you are to question why you are creating that, or why he would be responding in a way that is not in alignment with you. Because here too, you are the creator of this. You see, it is not random, because if you are the creator that we are telling that you are, you're going to be getting the things that you want in your life. You're going to get the responses that you want back in your life. If you're not getting the response that you're wanting, then what is the expectation? Then you are in the accusatory or the judgment phase of this one is trying to let me know he is better than me. This one, you are judging, you are deciding, you are deeming the one to be something that you view them to be, you see.
Right.
Therefore,
So in
they will match that then. They will give you that. Are we correct
yeah.
in that? Because we know we are picking around a little bit, but this is partly your perception of the one. So he is not going to necessarily give you the response you want when you're not expecting the response you want. Do you
Well,
understand?
if you took this discussion and we just expanded it a tiny bit more to let's talk about us creating our experiences, whether it's just two people co-creating or massive groups, and we can get into that in another question coming up. So let's for now just stay with, say, two people co-creating, and I'm creating this experience of I'm hurt,
Mm-hmm.
and he's creating this experience of you're always mad about something at pickleball.
Yeah.
So it's like how, like if everything is about you personally and you have two people that see this subject very differently,
Yes.
and how can like what I said was, well, if this is irritating you, there must be something active in you,
You are
just as
absolutely
if
right.
there is something active
Yes.
in me if I'm hurt.
Yes.
um but how does that come together when you have two people that are sovereign beings that are creating, and both sides of the experience aren't seeing it the same?
Yes, you are sovereign. However, wherever you align, wherever you are a match, whether it's a negative and a positive or two negatives and two positives, you see, uh, will vary. But you are correct in your assumption that you cannot hold the other one hostage for you feeling hurt, because every emotion you have is about you. So something
Right.
in you believed you were less, something in you believed
Right, right.
was wounded. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's for you to acknowledge that in yourself and to soothe yourself. Yes. I am not a trained tennis player, perhaps. I am new to the pickleball game. This one has played the racket sport many of his life, but it doesn't in the close relationships such as yours, in husband and wife. Yes, it is imperative, really, that you are open and communicative about areas that you are soft in. So we're not making him responsible for the area you're soft in, but he also needs to know that he has touched the area and he has enlivened it a little bit with the remark that he made, you see. And so you, of course, want to do the work on yourself. You want to understand that you are the one that is deciding to be hurt by what it is that someone else offers you or says to you. But this is how the two of you are a match, you see, because you are easily hurt and he can easily fill that spot of poking you a little bit, you see. But make no mistake about it, if you refuse to be poked, not in a defensive way, not in an angry way, just I am, so what? I lost the game. Yes, I'm going to laugh about it, make a joke about it, whatever it is that you do. And if you decided not to take on, if it was ill will that this one flung at you, if you decided not to engage or to attach to it, he would have to find another place then to put this type of behavior if he were going to continue in it, you see. You just happen to be a good place to make a deposit because you are very willing to give up, there it is again, your sovereignty and become this weak, hurt, damaged person, yes, and then him and his power, him and his betterness, him and his knowing better, whatever it is that he's doing, yes, then you receive that from him. But when your energy changes, when you are no longer affected by what another is to fling at you, and to take it personally, and to know that when someone does fling something at you, that would be theirs, that would be their axe to grind or their burden to deal with, then in this way you can keep your energy level high and not give up your sovereignty, because when you give up your power like that and you allow this one to hurt you and to damage you and to lower your vibrational level to some degree, you are giving up, as we say, all your sovereignty. And what is all your sovereignty? It's all the good stuff. It's all the things that you are manifesting and wanting in your life are now being not totally given up. But this is a good thing that you've brought this up, Heidi, because so many humans are ping-ponging. They have these things that they think are little things, and it sounds like a little thing, but it's kind of a big thing to you in a way, because you get hurt, yes, and then you contract. And when you contract, this is your energy level dipping. It is going down. And so now there is no way for you to connect to the high part of yourself that is now the thing that will bring you the things that you are wanting in your life, you see. So this is the question for one always to ask themselves when they find themselves in these difficult situations, even such as the one Robin was talking about, even such as the one you are talking about, is everything I'm wanting really worth me aligning in my anger, in my embarrassment, in my hurtness, whatever the emotion is, in order to make what this one thinks of me or what others think of me more important than what I think of myself, you see.
So in this interaction, I could take from it then that my activation of being hurt is my area to look at and to deal with. And the fact that he had frustration then would be his area to look at instead of just receiving it as what it was.
We would tell you that this one, yes, he also likes to be on top. He also likes to be seen as being good, as being at a high level. And he was not going to let that go by him. And it is part of the way you received it and hurt was, yes, he stomped on a lesser player to some degree in order to lift himself into the view of others of what he thought he should be, you see. And you probably rightfully, justifiably, there it is again, so reacted to that because you read the energy correctly, you see. But just because something is true doesn't mean, we have told you all the time, there's all kinds of true things going on. We're never going to lie that there isn't contrast, or that your bank account didn't go down, or that someone didn't hurl an insult at you. We're never going to dispute that. But if you react to it Then you're on the ping pong. Now you're on the teeter-totter of where you can never balance and get what you want. Now you're up and down, riding this thing, this wave, or whatever you want to call it, where another has you on a yo-yo string, up and down, up and down, up and down, and you blame them for it, but really you're to blame for it, because if you had any wisdom or knowledge at all, you would know that what you want in your life is the most important thing. And all of these other little incidentals are ridiculous waste of time and energy.
Yeah. So now if we take that same question and we expand it out into, there are prayer groups, people that gather together to pray for a certain cause, or um, people, maybe it's just one or two people decide that they're going to pray, or they're going to try to think good thoughts to an organization or a person somewhere in the world. We obviously can't create in another's experience unless they're allowing of it. So say we're praying for, I don't know, let's use the example of, women are suppressed in Arab nations. They have to wear
We're
the
going to
arms
pray
out.
for women to be powerful. We are not going to
Right.
focus
But
on
I'm saying,
suppression.
how does, like, if these women are unaware that we are on this other side of the world praying for them,
Yes.
and they may or may not be in agreement with it if they were aware of it, how does that benefit them, or does it not benefit them if they're not in a line to it, or they're not aware of it?
Yes. As you know, there is nothing that is going to come to you that you are not in alignment with, or in accord with. Let's use that term. So we are going to tell you, we will call it intention. You can call it prayer, whatever you want to. Yes. But when people agree together to intend something together, it is no different than you looking into the masses and reading about studies and deciding to agree to them. It is the same thing. You have decided to align to something, and then it is so, you see. And so as a group of people decide together that they are going to focus, have a focal point of an intention that they are wanting to see in the world, this creates a large charge of energy in a very positive direction that is there. It is now in the universe, you see. So dependent upon these women that are suppressed that you are praying for, they would have to be they would have to lift themselves. This is why we tell you all the time when we talked about many of your racial disparity or things that are going on in your world, that unless the ones that are being persecuted rise in their vibratory level in the knowing of the divinity that they are, they cannot receive the intended help or emotions or prayers or intentions that others are sending to them if they remain in the low vibratory level of victimization, you see. So that you are right and you are correct when you say, how can these downtrodden women receive it? Well, it is there out in the universe for those that can meet it, for those that can believe, for those that can rise in their vibratory level in the knowing that they are power, in the knowing that they are the divinity, in the knowing that they are the gods that create the experiences that they are having, you see. But they will not meet that intention in poverty, in loneliness, in not good enoughness, in victimization, in needing help. This is not where they are going to meet the intentions of those who are putting them out there in the high vibratory level that they are intended to be met at.
Okay. All right. So a question I've had since our last session, and I don't know how it ties into our topic today, but I'm going to ask it anyway, because I've had some experiences I've discussed with Robin with different things, irritating little things in my experience, on and off for the last few weeks. And ahead of those experiences, one in particular, I kind of kept having this thought, oh, maybe you shouldn't do this. Maybe this isn't a good idea. But then I just kind of ignored that thought and I went ahead with it, and I irritated myself a lot. And so I want to know, because I'm not I mean, like, after the fact, I think I can recognize something as intuition, but how are we really supposed to be certain of something being an intuitive hit that's going to prevent heartache or trauma or irritation in your life versus something that's just negatively attracting to you because you're in a lower vibratory or a lower energy state?
Yes. It is very important. We have talked to humans about this before. Intuition is a muscle that is strengthened by your belief, by your listening to it. You see.
Hmm.
So you got the hit, as you said, and then you chose to go against it or to ignore it. And what we would really prefer that you do is the next time you get the hit, to stop for a moment and then ask yourself, I am receiving this. Yes, I am
Hmm.
feeling it is not a good idea. Should I proceed with it or not? If you feel I should not, again, then we would tell you to honor it, that you would respect it. Once you start to do this, once you start to really align to your intuition and in your knowing, you will become much more able to detect, and it will be much quicker, and more clarity will come to you when you are wondering whether I should do this or not do that. We would tell you that the particular hit that you were talking about was a pretty good one. It was a pretty strong one, yet you ignored it anyway. What in you decided to ignore your own gut?
I mean, I just kept, I think what, just to add a little clarity for listeners, it involved me switching cell phone carriers.
Uh-huh.
And the idea of saving money on my phone bill was appealing to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what overrode the intuition, because I thought, oh, you're being ridiculous. You do this and it will be
Mm-hmm.
less expensive and you'll be happy you did it,
Yes.
kind of thing.
But we would tell you, yes, you have already had some prior or before negative experiences dealing in these types of situations. Yes, your work
Hmm.
causes you to have to, on occasion, solve debacles by phone, for insurance, whatever it is that you are dealing with is not to your liking, really, when there is something that you are on hold and you are trying to sort out or figure out, you see. So
Yeah.
there is a little something in your universe, we would tell you, that is, as we say, orbiting you or going around you. And even when you had the thought it was attractive that it would be less money, you are dealing with multiple lines and multiple family members. So it makes it a little bit more complex. And you are one that is full schedule. You have children coming over, you are a grandmother, you have work details that you are doing, you are physically active. So anything that you're going to add to your plate is going to be cutting in or taking away, let's use that term, from other things. So you had already set yourself up for a little bit of dread, a little bit of not wanting to bother, a little bit of wondering why you have all this people on your lines that you have to deal with that's going to complicate things for you. So we would tell you next time, the advice that we would give you is you got the intuitive hit, not because you shouldn't do it, but because you needed to clean up your energy field before you did it. And that is the thing that you missed or did not do. If you had
Okay.
taken a little bit of time and decided, I'm going to take this on. This means this phone, this phone, this phone for that person, that living person living there. I have to get this all in order. I have to think about it. Yes, I have to make sure I feel really good about it. Everybody talks about it. Everybody's happy about it. And I make the experience into something before I do it that is something that is going to be smooth or go well, you see. And so we would tell you that, again, intuitive hits can be for a multitude of reasons. They don't necessarily mean that the idea that you had was the wrong one, but it's letting you know that the mood or the energy that you are in at the moment that you're about to attempt it is not going to work very well for you.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Would you agree with that? That was what
Yeah,
occurred?
I would
Yes.
agree with
It was
that.
a pain in the ass. It was
Yeah.
something that you already had decided before you did it, that you knew it was going to be burdensome. You knew it was going to be a lot of trouble. You knew that there were many that were tied into those phones, and you were not looking forward to it at all.
Yeah. Yeah. I had put it off
So
for a while.
we
Yeah.
wanted you to soothe yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
The money I'm going to save. The ones are all going to be so happy because they're going to save money too. I'm hoping I get a really nice person that makes it really easy for me. You needed to do a little cleaning up of your energy field before you attempted that project. That's how keen, we're really glad you brought this up. That's how keen your intuition is. It's just sniffing around in there. It's just taking a smell of you. It knows exactly where you are, and it's going to be guiding you. So don't always look at it as when you have an experience that you're deciding yes or no on, look at it as, where am I at in my creative value? What's my energy like right now in order to accomplish what I'm about to take on?
Yeah. That's helpful, because then at least I feel like if you clean up your vibration and you do it,
Yes.
um, you can see, oh yeah, it worked out. Whereas if I would have thought, oh, this is an intuitive hit, I'm not going to do it, then
Yes.
I would have never experienced, if it could have been really a good thing. So I think that's a good
Yes.
thing to do, is to
We
take
are
it.
big fans of pre-paving, and we wish humans would use it more. They don't use it near enough. Every time you're going to go out of town, every time you're going to have an encounter, we don't care who it is, your husband, your sister, your brother, your coworker, whoever it is that you meet during the day, that you pre-pave, that you think ahead. How would I like my day to go? How would I like this exchange to be? Oh, I would like this, I would like that. And you soothe yourself into this really good feeling spot. And we promise you, if people would take the time to do this, their lives would dramatically change. People are saying to us all the time, I have to think better, I have to do better, I have to quit repeating things over and over negative that are happening that I don't like. And we think, well, instead of dwelling on the negatives that you don't like, instead of getting on yourself that you have to start being better, sorting things out, why don't you just decide to pre-pave? Why don't you just decide to think how you would like things to go, how you would like your experience to feel, and put your focus on that instead of all these other things that are splitting it, you see.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea for
Yeah.
sure. So back on this intuition thing, if we feel we have intuition about a situation, or say about a person,
Mhm.
um, and say like, if we're speaking now specifically about a person, say they negate you, like, say, I kind of feel like this is what's happening, and they say, no, you're wrong.
Yes.
um, are you supposed to assume assume the trust, know that you're feeling it correctly,
Yes.
and just let it be? Or are we supposed to question that?
You are never going to change another's response to you or the way that they are creating in their sovereignty. So they, whether or not they are lying to you or whether or not they are truly feeling opposite of you is not the point. You are at all times to honor yourself, and then you are to go inside and you are to ask yourself, yes, this is how I am feeling. This is what is coming to me. Where does it come from? You see, it is the same when you were hurt on the pickleball field, and perhaps you went to your husband and you made him the cause of it. Yes, and he denied the intention of causing it to you. And we would tell you he isn't the cause because this is something that is already activated in you that could have happened to a number of other people, and they may not have had the same response that you have, you see. So every person is going to be perceiving what is coming to them and at them through the life that they have lived. And so what is the best thing you can do, really? Love yourself. Tell yourself, you know what? You're hurt right now. Doesn't matter whether this one wants to claim ownership to it. Doesn't matter whether I want to blame him for it. All that matters is my human feels this way because of the life experiences it's had, and it's justified. It's what it feels. And then you soothe your human. I'm sorry you feel hurt. I'm sorry that that made you feel sad and disconnected. I love you for the experiences you've had. I know you've done the best job that you can do. And I hope you know that I appreciate and love you for it. You see, this is how you soothe yourself. You're not going to get anywhere by, this is why we say opposition energy is it's no good, you see, because you're going to not feel good while you do it. As you try to force another one to conform to your way of thinking, you are now giving up your own sovereignty as you deny another one theirs. And now you are starting to move away from the things that you are wanting, that you are already close to getting. You are starting to go into negativity over this need for this one to take responsibility for this emotion that is in you, you see. You have to be the one that takes it. And don't make yourself wrong for it. You're a human. You have ancestry. You have many lives that you have lived. You have many reasons for the feelings that you are having. It matters not whether you think they are the right ones or the wrong ones, or that someone else is right or wrong. All that matters is that you're feeling it. What do you do when somebody isn't feeling good, when your child's not feeling well? Do you slap them on the back and say, you have a fever, knock it off? No, you don't. You wash them down with a little cool water, don't you? You soothe them, you rub their back, you talk nice to them. This is how you have to be with yourself, you see.
Mhm. Mhm. I think that the ever evolving process, and different times in people's lives, they're up and down with it. And sometimes some people are right on from an early age, and other people don't figure it out till they're later. And there's lots of different paths. One of them that I was curious to ask you about was psychedelics.
Hmm.
I know they're not necessary. I think there's many people that get huge benefits out of them. And I'm curious only because, in my own experience, I know what you're going to say, soothe the human, and do
Yes,
these things. And for the
yes.
most part, I'm able to do that, maybe not immediately.
Hmm.
But is the use of a psychedelic or something like that able to shortcut or speed up someone who might be potentially stuck in an area?
It will provide some insights or understanding because what it really does is it has the human or the ego part of you stand down, you see. And in
Hmm.
this way, you are able to see or receive this higher aspect or part of yourself. But what we would tell you is it is a tool, and your human is also a tool. Yes. So you
Hmm.
have these two tools, let's say, to choose from. But until you finally get the understanding and make the shift in your own psyche, in your own understanding, even though you may get these insights from these drugs or psychedelics, as you call them, it will not stick or last. It will not be the permanence that you are looking for. It will not be the transformational energy that comes from the source that is you, because you need the tool, you see. You will be constantly, we would tell you the people that are doing these things, they keep going back for the good feeling experience that they have as they do them. But they are not, yes, they have a little bit more understanding. We are not saying there is no benefit to them, that they see some things that open them up, let's use that term a little bit. But for them to get the lasting results or the connection to themselves that they're really looking to get, they need to have this self-love. They need to have this understanding of uh, uh, why they feel as they feel, and that it's okay. There is no wrong, there's no right way that one perceives their world or their life as they are living it. And so once you can really grasp these key elements uh, about your human experiencer, why you are here, what you are doing while you are here, and that you have not done anything to be ashamed of, or that is wrong, or that cannot be corrected, that you can just love yourself and accept yourself for the feelings and the emotions that you have, and that not only is it you, we have told you this, it is also your ancestry that plays a role or a part in the way that you perceive your world and your money and the mates that you will choose. A lot of this has been viewed through the ancestry. So you have all of these different determining factors that are going on. So we are never going to tell a human, no, you can't do this, and yes, you have to do that. But we are going to tell you that, no, you don't have to do this or that in order to become this connected, all-knowing, all-sensing being that you are meant to be, you see.
Right.
Uh,
I
we
do
are,
feel like I do feel like it's a tool that for some people they would get that insight and they would really apply it to their lives, and others, like you say, would just keep going back for the high of it. And I think it's just like a lot of other things, like certain things I've learned from your group. Um, if if 20 years ago, when I wasn't at the place where I was ready to receive it,
yes,
it wouldn't have stuck. And so
yeah.
I feel like it's kind of the same thing, at least in my mind.
We would tell you, Heidi, there is a path for each human that is effective and right for them. And if the
Mhm.
path leads you to the psychedelic, if the path leads you to this way, then perhaps it is the breadcrumb or the one you should pick up. You see, we
Mhm.
have talked before that one of the paths that Robin used, she did a lot of breathing into her chakras. It was something that resonated with her. And we would tell you that, was it the chakras? Was it what she did? Or was it just the intention she held as she did it? And we're going to tell you right
Mhm.
here, right now, that whether you take psychedelics, whether you breathe into your chakras, whether you meditate, whether you read books on this topic, or whatever it is that you do, it is the intention that you hold that is creating the experience that you are going to get.
Mhm. And I know this is kind of comical, but I do know, well, maybe more than one, but one for sure, that really has no awareness of any of this stuff we're discussing, doesn't really have an interest in any of this stuff we're discussing, but
Mhm.
lives their life exactly as if they knew this from front to back of a book cover. Like and
Yes.
it's unbeknownst to them, but
Yes.
somehow they know and live their life
That
in
is your
that
natural
exact way.
state. We find it funny, the search really that goes on, the determination, and even as you say, the use of these drugs, the use of different practices. We are not poo-pooing any of it. We're not telling a human they can't do what it is that is they are drawn to. Certainly they can, but we are trying to make the clarity or the understanding that it is your desire and your belief and your perception that is the creative value in everything in your life. And that includes your spirituality and your connection to self, you see. So if you think, I am going to go do this thing and it's going to bring me this way of thinking, and then I'm going to believe in it, and then I'm going to perceive in a whole new way, then perhaps this tool is something that you will work for you. But you have to understand that it isn't the tool, really. It is your decision that you have reached, that this is the thing you will reach for that will bring you what it is you are looking for.
And the irony for me in the situation that I just just mentioned is, how is it that someone can live their life so much that way and basically seem clueless, like they're not applying any of these tools? They just know it even though they don't know it. How is that an an, uh, an
Yes,
experience
you are
without being?
you are ever evolving being. This is another topic for another day, but we will touch on it briefly here.
Yeah.
That while you are living the lives you are living, you are already creating your next life, whether you know it or not. Many humans think, do you sit around a table and all decide I will be with this one and that one, and I will try that one on for my husband and that one on for my sister in the next life that I will live, you see? And we would tell you
Mhm.
about all the loves and all the likes and all the dislikes that you are having. You are determining and picking and choosing and aligning to a new life that you will already be deciding to join in the next life that will be coming, you see. So we think it is important for you to understand this, that this progress that you are making isn't going to be lost. And if it is your desire, great desire, to reach a certain point or place of sovereignty, and that's what you're really talking about with this one that is very centered, doing things that are in alignment with self, is what you're describing. And so you have no way of knowing what the prior or past lifetimes have been, but we can only surmise that this was what was being created in the life prior to this, you see.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't it
Yeah, it
make
just
more
seems
sense?
so much. It just seems so much easier to me than feeling like you have to
Yes.
work on
But doesn't
stuff.
it make more sense to you? Humans have this, we call it a bullshit meter. You can call it whatever you want, yes. But they have this way, this thing inside of them, the guidance system, that when they hear something, they resonate. They just know when something is the truth, you see. Does it make more sense to you that you would just randomly die and that you would just line up now and say, hey, how about you? How about you? Yes. And then sit around a table and decide a life? Or would it seem like it would make more sense that this is an ever evolving, ever connected continuum of never ending you that is creating from one moment to the next, one lifetime to the next, all the time?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
So
any final
every time you are
thoughts?
deciding what you don't like, what you do like, you are adding, and the universe is adjusting, and it's formulating a plan, and it's making this magnificent way of connecting the dots and connecting the grid to all of the things that will align to the life that you have lived.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
How much perfect can that be?
Yeah, it's pretty intricate for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Any final thoughts on negative situation attraction?
Uh, we would tell you whatever the experience is, we want you to get a smile on your face and know, good, bad, or otherwise, you've released a charge of energy and your job is done. You do not need to dwell upon the person unless you think you need to resend a letter over and over and over again to the same address that you have already sent it. You see,
Mm-hmm.
just smile and know that you have done your work, and then make the conscious notion in your head that I want to create from ease. I want to create from having really nice people around me, or really welcoming people, or whatever it is that you would like to have in your experience. You don't have to do it in these negative experiences, but we would tell you that if you are having negative experience, it's not a problem. It's creating a larger charge of energy. We're getting it over here. We're expanding. You're expanding. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing bad going on. But in order for you to get that life that you want, we want you to eliminate as much contrast as possible, because this constant back and forth, and it's never going to be perfect. You're always going to have some negativity a little bit. You're on a contrasting plane. We're not going to deny that. But the more level you can become, the more you can hold yourself to that resonance of all that is, then the more of the things that you have created can come to you in form. When you're constantly bobbling around up and down, it is very difficult. Imagine if you're trying to plug in a plug, yes, and the thing is bobbing up and down in the water, and you cannot quite make it or meet it, you see. We want you to be able to slow it down, get it flowing easy, so that you can get that plug to go in the wall, and you can start to receive all of the things that you have become by all of the experience you have had.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Robin. Thank you, Athena. If anyone has any questions they'd like asked by Athena, you can always email me, Heidi, at athenaintruth.com. And we also are discussing doing another online guest appearance. Robin, I don't know if you have some idea of how soon you'd like to do that. We can kind of just talk about it after, and we can come up with a date and time and maybe send it out to the email list that we currently have.
Yes, we are currently in the makings of a course or something that we could do with humans that would help to keep them on track, help to get their life going. Most of the people that we work with, if not all, we would say, have a great base or understanding of the spiritual creation process, but they're getting snagged. They're having the up and downs that we are talking about. And this is really our mission, or our goal, is to come up with a program, something that's really going to hold you. We would do it over a period of a few weeks, several times a week by Zoom, that you could be a member of, that would really show you what this type of focus can do for you in your life. So when we get this program nailed down, when we are finished with the construction of it, we will make it available to everyone that has joined our YouTube, and also to the people that are on our other email list.
That sounds good.
We just
All
want to
right, well,
mention
thank
again,
you.
Heidi, in closing, we have a number of new people that are signing up for the YouTube. It is expanding daily. If you would share it with anyone else, we would be very grateful for that. Also, we would like those that are watching the YouTubes to know that we do have a podcast. It is Athena in Truth. You can find it on Anchor, Spotify, or many of the other, I believe, Apple or platforms. There's a lot of good material on there. We do those several times a week, not last week because we were gone on vacation, but we will regularly make post to that, and that is a free service that is offered that many find a great benefit in.
Yes. I particularly enjoyed the last 3-4 of them that you had put out before vacation. Those were awesome. If anybody hasn't listened to them,
Yes,
listen to them.
we appreciate it. And good day. We thank you, Heidi.
Thank you.